How to factorize yesterday. So in 5b, we talk about find common factors. If there are two terms, we find difference of perfect square. If there's four terms, we use grouping. And if it's three terms and it's a quadratic with a single x squared, like there's no coefficient of the x squared, so we're trying to factorize. Well, we're trying to find the factors for the constant and trying to cross multiply them to give the middle number. Okay, to give the middle number. So we have, like, I asked you to try all of these questions, but they are not hard except the last one. Okay, it's a little bit a lot of working for the last one. So if you can have a look at C. Okay, for C, well, the first step is always factorize. Okay, the first step is always factorize. I have x minus 1 squared for the first one, minus x plus 3. And if you try factorize it, you will have x plus 4 and x minus 1. Okay, you should have this. Okay, so because 1, 1, 4 and minus 1, that will give you a 3. Okay, that will give you a 3. Well, or if you have any other method, you can use your own method. So the bottom will be factorized to x plus 4 and x minus 1. So now I want to subtract them. Remember what we learned in the first chapter. If you want to subtract some fractions, you need common denominator. Yes, common denominator. So what's the common denominator for those two? What's the common denominator for those two? For this? X minus 4. X plus 4. X minus 1, x plus 4? Yeah. That's it?
X minus 1 squared.
X minus 1 squared and x plus 4 will be this one and this one. What's the common denominator? Yeah, that one. Yeah, x minus 1 squared and x plus 4 will be the common denominator. So what I'll do for this one is x minus 1 squared times x plus 4 on the denominator. Therefore, on the numerator, I need to times x plus 4 as well. For the second one, I want to go x minus 1 squared and x plus 4. So I have times x minus 1 on top, so I will on the bottom, so I need to times another x minus 1 on top. So now I have the same denominator, which is x minus 1 squared and x plus 4. So the numerator, okay, the numerator, I just write another step. X plus 2, x plus 4, minus x plus 3 and x minus 1. Okay, I put them in this form first. Now I want to expand the top. So I have x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8. Okay, that's the expansion for the first two terms. Now I need to expand the second two terms. Then I need to put the answer in the bracket. Okay, you can't just directly expand it. It must be still in the bracket because it subtract the result of the next two terms. So we have x squared plus 3x minus x minus 3. Okay, they are in the bracket. Okay, they are in the bracket. So those two terms give you 2x. Okay, so what we, and the denominator is still stay the same. X plus 1 squared and x plus 4. It still stay the same. Now we have x squared plus 6x plus 8 minus x squared minus 2x and plus a 3. Okay, plus the 3. So sorry, x minus 1, not plus 1, and x plus 4. So that can be cancelled. What I left on the numerator is a 4x plus 11 over x minus 1 squared and x plus 4. Okay, that will be my final answer. Because I can't factorize the top anymore, and I can't cancel anything from the top and bottom. So the final answer will be 4x plus 11 over x minus 1 squared times x plus 4. Okay, so when we subtract or adding two fractions, we need common denominator. And common denominator can be easily times all the terms together from both fraction. Okay, just times their denominator together from both fraction. Okay, that's page 3. That's page 3. All right. Let's go to the next page. I was still trying to factorize the quadratic trinomial. Like I explained yesterday, what is a trinomial? Trinomial is the expression with three terms. And like quadratic trinomial is a quadratic equation with three terms. Well, yesterday we have talked about the really easy one when there's only one x squared. Now we have multiple x squared. Well, let's go to look at this question. We still have multiple x squared here. But because we have -7 in every single term, I can take the -7 out to become a common factor. So therefore, you still have 1x squared in the bracket to be factorized. But what we have for this exercise is like something with 3x squared, but you can't factorize it. Okay, like it's not every single term contains the 3. So 10 can't divisible by 3. So I can't take the common factor 3 out. So how we can factorize that? It will be the same way to factorize. Okay, it will be the same way to factorize. Remember before I have a single x squared and say minus 3x plus minus 15 minus 10. Okay, so for this one we say x squared is a coefficient of 1, so 1 can only make 1 and 1. So 10 can make 5 and 2, but I need a -3, so I have a -5 here. So that's what we do. But now we have a 6, let's say a 6. Well, 6 can't be 1 and 1. Okay, I need to also find the factors for that term as well. So 6 can be 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Normally we don't take negative, okay? Normally we keep positive for the first one and trying to change the constant factor. So we keep the first column as integer, positive integers, and then trying to deal with the negative in the constant factor. So 6 can be 1, 6, and 2 and 3. Okay, 1, 6, 2 and 3. There are no other combinations. And then we think about 10. Okay, so 6 can make 1 and 6, 2 and 3. 10 can make 1 and 10, 2 and 5. And negative of -1, -10, -2, -5. Well, because I need a positive 19, it's not going to be like the negative thing. Like the negative will still make 2 negative and the answer will be negative. So what we have is 1, 6, 2, 3, 1, 10, and 2, 5. Those combinations. So let's have a look. 6x squared plus 19x plus 10. If I take 6 as 2 and 3. Okay, if I take that 2 and 3. Normally we take the middle two numbers, not the 1 and 10. There are too much difference. Normally we take the middle two factors. And then 10. 10 can be 2 and 5, 1 and 10. But if say we have 1 and 10 like this, if I know it's not right, but like if I'm taking 1 and 10, it's try and error. So I cross multiply them. That's a 3 plus a 20. That gives you 23. That doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't work. But what might work? I can go for 2 and 3. But I can go for 10 and 1. I change the order. After I change the order, this gives me 30. This gives me 2. That is a 32. Well, even though it's still not the right answer, but they are two different pairs. Okay, they are two different pairs. Originally, when we have 1 and 1 as the first, like x squared, the coefficient factors for the first one, 1, 1. Doesn't matter how you change the last two number, you still get the same answer. But now you change the order for the second one, it will create different answers for you. Okay, it will create different answers for you. So I can also try 2 and 3, 2 and 5. Okay, that's a 6, that's a 10. That gives you 16, still doesn't work. Okay, 2 and 3, 5 and 2. I change the order again. That's a 15 plus 4. That gives you 19. And this one works. Okay, and this one works. So you try about that. Well, you still can try 1 and 6, 5 and 2. 1 and 6, 2 and 5. 1 and 6, 1, 10. 1 and 6, 10, 1. So they are all different pairs you can try. There are so many possibilities when the x squared is not 1. So there are so many possibilities you can try. But you will be, you practice more and then you get experience. You see which are the most likely answers to give the middle number. So there's no really quick ways to think about it. But like you really, when you do more questions, you have the feeling which pairs should work and what times what. Plus what times what will give you the middle number. It's all through practice. But like from this, 19 works. So therefore you have 2x plus 5. Okay, from this line, because the first represents the x and the second one is 3x plus 2. Okay, the second number represents constant. That's how you can factorize it. Okay, that's how you can factorize it. There are still 4 more pairs I can try. Okay, there are still 4 more pairs I can try. There's so many possibilities here, but you use like your experience to think about which pairs should work better. Normally, the number you take is the middle two. Okay, it's the middle two. So 1 and 10 normally we don't take 1 and 10, we take 2 and 5. So you start to try from the middle and then go for outside. Okay, just show you one. Okay, for example, let's have a look at this one. Well, that should be a number 2. Okay, the number is not right. But anyway, let's think about this one. When I see negative, what I will do, I don't like a negative number at the beginning. So what I'll do is I will take the negative out. You can't just make the negative disappear, okay? The negative is a common factor outside, but you still need to keep the negative there. Okay, so you can't just negative everything and that's not equivalent. So you take -1 as a common factor. Now I'm trying to factorize the things inside. Okay, I'm trying to factorize the things inside. So 15. Well, you can think about 5 and 3, 1 and 15. Well, we will take 3 and 5. Like, because I only need a 1 in between, in the middle. So it's not going to be the number get too much difference. So I will try 3 and 5. Okay, a -6. 1 and -6, -1 and 6, 2 and 3, -2, 3, 2, -3. So I'll put 2 here, 3 here. Because I can see a 10 here and a 9 here, it might give me a 1. Okay, it might give me a 1. I need a +1. So the negative sign will be here. I want a +10 and a -9. Then I will have a +1. So there I have 10. Here I have -9. And plus them, I have 1. So this one does work. Okay, this one does work. So my answer will be -3x plus 2. 5x minus 3. Okay, so 3x plus 2 and 5x minus 3. You read horizontally. Alright, if you can have a look at the next one, like the 6 with the number 6. Well, the first thing you want to check is always taking common factors out. For example, this one I can see a 10. I will definitely take the 10 out. Okay. Now I can see 9, 9, and negative 10. For 9, I will try 3 and 3. Not sure whether it will work or not, but I will try 3 and 3. 10 can be 5 and 2. Okay, the 10 can be, well, negative. One of that must be negative. But I have 15 and 6. It's possible to give me a 9, but I need a negative 6. So therefore, I have a negative 2. Okay, therefore, I have a negative 2. Because, okay, I try 3 and 3. Then 10 might be the middle two, 5 and 2. And then I see 15 and 6. It's possible to create a 9, but I need a positive 9. Therefore, I need a smaller number to be negative, larger number to be positive. Therefore, 5 and 2, one of that must be negative. Therefore, I will negative the 2, not negative the 5. So I have 9 here. So this equals to 10, 3x plus 5, and 3x minus 2. Okay, 3x plus 5 and 3x minus 2. Any questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, please complete the rest of that. Well, maybe you can't get the answer directly like me, like in 1 second, and see what the combination might be. So you can try different things. It's always trial and error when you start learning this. So you try different things and see different pairs, which one will work. It's like just practice with the next few questions. You should get the feeling what numbers might work. Okay, just complete the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 questions. You have about 20 minutes, 23 minutes left. So you should be able to finish that. And then you can do the homework. Any questions? Well, if you still have difficulty with that, you can come here. I can go through that with you. Okay, it's your practice time now.